All right, I'm about to read Jade City. Excited. I've heard great things about this book, about the Green Bones Saga series. Wow, I'm really excited to dive in, and I will keep you guys posted. Okay, just got through the first 50-ish pages of Jade City. There's a lot of stuff going on. Right, you have this clan that used to be one, like for the mountain, I think, and then it got split up into the mountain clan, and then what's the other one? The no something clan, the no feet clan, no peak, right? So you have the no peak clan, and then you have the mountain clan, and each of them are like run by a pillar, like that's like the leader, and we're really zoomed into the no peak clan. We have these three siblings. The first son is the new pillar. He took over from his grandfather. His dad died in his 30s. The grandfather, I guess, was becoming senile, right? Was getting a little bit unwell, and like that's not a good sign for a pillar. So he, I guess, resigned and passed on the duty to his grandson. And then the second son is the horn, right? And the horn's job is to kind of protect the clan, train up the new recruits. Like, I think they have these people called fingers. Like, he trains the fingers and deploys them where they need to be. He's like the fist, right? So you have the pillar, you have the horn, and then the sister, don't know much about her, but she fell in love with someone who can't use Jade. I think like a foreigner. They have these terms that I've seen stone-eyed, but some foreigner, they fell in love, they ran away, and she's coming back now. I don't know why, but yeah, we meet the three siblings. We also get introduced to these two young teenagers who decided they're gonna steal Jade from someone who has it, and they just so happen to be like stealing from someone who's in the same restaurant as the horn, as the second brother. I think his name is Hilo. That is so funny because they get caught easily and they get taken to the pillar. The older brother, what's the older brother's name? Lon. So we have Hilo, Lon or Lan. We have their grandfather, their sister. Hilo is in love with a stone-eyed woman. I don't think that's like good in the community. I don't think that's like accepted for someone of his stature, of his status. So yeah, cool world building so far. I like it. I'm excited to keep reading and exploring. All right, just read another 50 pages of Jade City. Woo! The world is coming together. I'm actually really into it. I guess getting to meet more of the family, see different sides of them. I think the chapter opens up, or this section opened up with us meeting Shay. So you remember how I said there are three siblings, right? You have Lan, Hilo, and then Shay. She left for Espina to go be with her man and to go to school. Well, her man left her and she's now back. So we get to see her interact with Len and the grandfather. She's like the grandfather's favorite, and he was like very sad when she left, and she's trying to keep her distance. Like, she doesn't have Jade. She's gone through the withdrawals. Apparently the withdrawals are crazy, and it's been years now. She's back, and her granddad's super quick to just forgive her. She's not asking for forgiveness, right? And offer her like a position back in the family, like high up in the business chain, and she's just like, whoa, it's happening way too fast, like chill. So that was cool getting to read more about Shay. And we also meet Andon, who's kind of like a cousin figure, like nephew kind of to the family. He's like half Kekonese, I don't know, Kekonese. I guess that's like the race or the ethnic group here in Jade City, Janloon. And only the Kekonese have the ability to fully control Jade, right? There's this kind of drug called SN1 that if you take it and you're not Kekonese, it lets you kind of use the power of Jade for a little bit. That's a whole subplot, but Anyway, we meet Andon, and he's like in his final year of schooling at the school in the No Peak clan, and he's doing well. He's like 18, he's super young, and they have this festival, this like boating day festival, and he and a bunch of his classmates go out into the city, party, get drunk, yada yada yada, and he ends up stepping into the Mountain Clan territory, and they basically abduct him, and they send out a message to Lan, right, the pillar of the No Peak clan, like, hey, we have Andon, we're not going to do anything bad to him, just make sure you talk to your horn, Hilo, to make sure he doesn't do anything bad to us. So Lan calls Hilo, who's already like surrounded, like the building that they're supposed to meet, that they're supposed to bring Andon to, and you can tell he's heated, and Lan's just like, hey, yo, calm down. So we switch back over to Andon, and he's meeting with the pillar. Well, first of all, he meets with the horn of the Mountain Clan, who's very calm and collected, very different to Hilo. He reminds me more of Lan. And then we also meet the pillar, who, funny enough, used to be like the weatherman, which is another position. And then she, after her father's death, like within like hours after his death, she killed a lot of people, and I think she killed either the weatherman or the horn, I can't remember, but she killed someone really important, worked her way up to be the pillar, and now she's the pillar. And yeah, she's interesting. She definitely has a reputation. We've learned about her through like Lan and the granddad of the No P clan, through their perspectives, and like they see her as kind of this crazy, almost like vigilante spirit, just like wild, like can't be controlled kind of. And then we meet her, and she basically offers Andon this proposal, right? Come train over here at our school. You know, you have an important role to play, right? Andon is half Kekonese, half foreigner. I don't know what type of foreigner, but his mom, before she went crazy, she would have really been down for the Mountain Clan cause. And for context, right, there used to be one Mountain Clan, I think. And then the granddad was like, oh, to survive, we need to work with foreigners, right? We need to figure that out, the business side. And then the old clan leader for the Mountain Clan was like, no, we need to keep our practices within. Like, why would we associate with foreigners like that? Why would we teach them our ways and stuff like that? So they split, and that's why we have No P clan, and we have Mountain Clan. They all used to be together and as one mountain. Okay. And she offers him this proposal to come train because he's half Kekonese and he's half foreigner. And his mom was about the Mountain Clan what's the word I'm looking for? She was about the values, right? She believed in it. And yeah, as far as we know, they're not going to hurt Andon, but they basically given him this proposal. And yeah, essentially, I guess he's the first step in trying to unite their clans, right? The pillar of the Mountain Clan is like, it's time that we reunite. We need to go and expand our territory into this region where they can make the drug SN1 and sell it to people, because they're like, we need to be in control of our jade and who has access to it, and this is how we do it. We need to come back together. So yeah, interesting proposal. We'll see what happens next. I'm really into it though. All right, I just finished reading the next 50 pages of the book. Ooh. So here's what I've learned, right? So Andon has returned. No fighting broke out. Thankfully, Hilo was not calm, but like, channeled his fury and is saving it, I think, for another time. But Andon is back. Immediately as he sees Hilo, he's like, dude, I gotta talk to Lan, like right now. I gotta talk to the pillar. So he meets with Lan, the pillar, and is like, hey, so the pillar of the other clan, like the mountain clan, just told me about this proposal. Like, you know, she told me I gotta tell you. And everything is cool. They send Andon back to school, and then Lan and his people discuss. I'm talking about the weatherman, Doru. I'm talking about his horn, his brother Hilo. Yeah, basically his trusted advisors, right? And they're like, guys, what should we do? And Lan is basically like, the way that we were contacted is super unofficial. We're not going to do that. We're going to go through the business channel, through the weathering men, and we're going to respond with, hey, we don't actually want to unite and help create SN1, right? We don't want to make this thing. But we're not going to stop you guys from doing that, right? As long as it doesn't interfere with our business. And I think they throw around the idea of having Andon actually, after he graduates, going to train over in the Mountain Clan as almost like an informant. Like, yeah, you can go learn their ways or whatever, but really you're just spying. You're reporting on them. So they float around with that idea. Lan also decides to go and talk to a politician, basically making it impossible for any one clan to own, I think, like more than 0.5% of like the Jade City, like the alliance of Jade, right? So you have these like clans who kind of protect. It's kind of interesting. Like, you have this country, I think, called Janloon, and Janloon is really cool because it's like biggest and best export is jade, right? It's found naturally there, and there are some people who are immune to it, the Abuke, I think, and then there are people who they get withdrawals from it. Like, they're not exactly immune, they can still use it, and I think those are the Kuke, I think. Anyway, yeah, so on Janloon, you have these two clans that used to be one. You have multiple clans, actually, but the two biggest ones are the Mountain Clan and the No Peak Clan, right? They're each ruled by their own pillars. They have their own horns. They have their own weathermen. And they're kind of like in charge of business and military. But then you also have the politicians who actually govern, right? And they have this saying like, jade and green or something, and it's basically just supposed to represent like greed and opulence. Like, you cannot control jade and govern, and at the same time, if you're gonna govern, you can't be on jade. It's too much. So they separate it out. So Lan goes to the politician and is like, hey, make this law. He's like, what are you gonna do for me in return? They haggle or whatever. They come to an agreement. Also, right, Lan does not like Doru. He is not a big fan of his weatherman because this is an older guy. He was really like instrumental in his grandfather's time, right? They're like that. And he's just kept him around because he's loyal, but he's more loyal to his grandfather than to him, honestly. So he wants to replace him. He wants young blood. He wants fresh blood. He's just, he suspects that, I don't know what he suspects, but he doesn't want him around, right? He doesn't fully trust him. He thinks that Doru kind of sees him as still a kid, right? Uses sometimes informal language around him, all this stuff. So he goes to his sister, Shay, and he's like, Shay, I need you to do something for me. Can you go to the Jade Mines and just check their books, right? Like, I have a suspicion that something weird is going on. So she's like, okay, cool, I'll do this as a favor to you. She goes, and she's realizing that, oh my God, right? There are a lot of signatures from the horn of the Mountain Clan, which is peculiar because usually these kind of deals would be handled by the weatherman, right? The head of business, not the head of military. And so she tells Lan, and Lan's like, oh, interesting, that's weird. What else is happening? Yeah, I think just some cool world building, like kind of getting to understand. I think there was a passage about, you know, when Shay was young, she used to always hear tales of the first mother and how she I think she died and she fell into a river and her body became Janloon, and her the jade that runs through the country are her bones, her green bones, right? Green Bone Saga, Jade City. It's interesting. Like the world is really shaping up. I'm fascinated, right? Fingers, fists. It's like, ooh, I like the terminology. I like where we're going. I like learning more about the kind of powers that Jade can give you, right? Lightning, strength, perception, even more things that I'm just learning more about. So yeah, I'm really liking this so far. It's reading very well. I like the world building. Um, yeah, and it's easy to digest. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hey, just finished another 50 pages of Jade City. Oh my god, it reads so vividly. Like I'm really, really picturing and imagining all of these fights. It's really taking me back to Mistborn, like the concept of like the keepers and like allomancy, sorry. Just so cool, like being able to use this mineral like jade, this resource, to kind of enhance physical or mental abilities. And the fights are so descriptive and wildly imaginative. Oh my god, I am sucked in, dude. I'm sucked in. Like, tensions are flaring. War is upon us. These clans are fighting. I'm having so much fun. Or what? He's dead? I was really starting to like him too. That's crazy. Oh my god, just had to pop in. Eight, the pillar of the Mountain Clan is scary. Really, really scary. She just offered Shay a deal, but it includes like, what's the word? I don't think it's called patricide. I think it's called fratricide. If you know what that means, you can kind of guess who it's towards. It's crazy, dude. Like, I'm reading these pages. I'm scared. I'm scared. But it's getting good. It's getting real good. Hopefully I finish this today. I'm not gonna let the next pillar just die on me like that. Shout out to Andon though. Ooh, I can't wait to read the next book to just learn more about him, because they're definitely building him up to be very important. But don't tell me my man is dead, bro. Yes, he's alive. Oh my god, I was scared. I just had to go to the next page, really. Ooh, I knew Andon would be important, but damn, he just like Shay for real. He just like Shay for real, bro. No, but I see the similarities between them heavy, and it takes a lot of guts to do what Andon did. Like, ooh, crazy. All right, just wrapped it up, dude. Woo! Wow. That was very gripping. It read so well. Oh my god, I need to get my thoughts together, honestly. But I'm excited to read the next one. Oh man, you know the feeling when you find a good series to read for the next couple of weeks? Like, yup, yup, yup. And it's a trilogy, so I know it's just gonna be 3. Like, it's not crazy. It's not 6. It's not 7. It's not 8. Whatever. Wow, this is kind of good. This is kind of good. Like, yeah, I'll save my thoughts for the actual sit down piece. But yeah, overall, I liked this. I really liked this, actually. It was good. Yeah, it's a nice break from what I've been reading. So, love this crime fantasy. I hope it just gets better. Thank you so much for following along on my journey. What a ride it's been. Jade City is the type of book that just pulls you in so smoothly. Honestly, half the time I forgot I was even reading. The imagery is so vivid, the world feels incredibly lived in, and the whole thing just has this grounded intensity that hooked me from start to finish. So for a quick summary, Jade City is set on the island of Kekon, and it follows these really powerful families, most notably the Kaul family, and they use Jade to gain superhuman abilities to protect their territory. Right? Jade is a cultural treasure, but it's also a deadly weapon. Only Kekonese people, so people from the island of Kekon, can handle it safely. And that's kind of thanks to a mix of genetics and also training. So the story takes place a generation after the Many Nations War, which is basically Kekon's version of World War II. And during that conflict, the One Mountain Society fought to end foreign occupation, and they won. And after the war, the movement splintered into rival clans, right? So the two most powerful are the isolationist Mountain Clan, and that's led by the Ait family. And then you also have the internationalist No Peak clan, which is led by the Kauls. And each clan has a pillar, they have a horn, and they have a weatherman. And the pillar leads the clan. The horn kind of runs the street fighters, is in charge of the military. And then the weatherman handles the business side of things. At its core, this is a family saga. The Kaul siblings, they have to navigate the legacy that their grandfather built. They also have to deal with the threat of war, and they also have to respond to changing times, right? Each sibling is fascinating because they grapple with the roles expected of them in different ways, and they all feel consistent and true to themselves, which I really appreciate. I like consistency in my characters. I like for their actions to make sense from beginning to end. And if it doesn't make sense, there needs to be an explanation why, right? I like consistency in my characters, and Fondely does an incredible job setting up these characters, giving them context and complexity and depth so that later actions actually make sense, so that you actually believe that this character would do that thing or would act that way or would say that thing. Like, I love that. Okay, so let's dive into the siblings, right? Lan is the oldest sibling. He is the pillar of the clan, like his grandfather before him. And he is reflective, he's thoughtful, he's really dutiful, and he struggles with balancing compassion with the ruthlessness that's needed to lead in a brewing war, right? Like, his choices, they always feel in line with who he is. And he was immediately my favorite character because I love reading about people trying to do their best in difficult circumstances, especially when the role doesn't come naturally to them. I love reading those kind of stories. I love putting myself in those kind of characters' shoes. It's fascinating. Hilo is the second oldest, the second son. He is the war leader, so he's the horn. And he is hot-headed, passionate, right? Full of energy. He's deeply devoted to the clan, and he knows how to inspire loyalty, and he sees people as individuals, and he can really get them to follow him, right? He's very inspirational. He's just a natural born leader. People, look to him to make decisions, to lead, which is cool, but he's not just muscle, right? You hear hot-headed, brute, always just wants to punch something, and yes, he does like to punch things, and he does get himself into a lot of trouble, but he's surprisingly sensitive and thoughtful beneath the surface. I think his growth throughout this story feels really earned. And, even as he changes, he sometimes struggles to be, diplomatic, right? balancing his impulsive streak with moments of real care and insight. So I loved reading from his perspective. I like characters like him who you expect to act one way but surprise you entirely and keep surprising you. So really like Hilo. And then Shay is the youngest, and she's the only daughter. She is she's the only sibling brave enough to leave the clan and explore the world on her own. Really cool. She's honestly a trailblazer. And you know, her independence and intelligence, they remain consistent throughout the story. Her perspective highlights the challenges that women face in becoming, you know, greenbone warriors. When she returns, she's determined to forge her own path, and her story is one that I'm especially excited to continue in the next book. Yeah, I just want to dive into her a little bit deeper. And then let's not forget Andon. Andon is not a Kaul by blood, but he was raised as one, and he's technically the youngest. You know, he was taken into the Kaul family after his parents died, and you know, he's biracial, he's gay, he's still finishing training. He's just navigating challenges. The challenges of being an outsider, right? He really struggles with his identity and his responsibility and his mastery of Jade. And yeah, I think those struggles make him the most heartfelt perspective of the four siblings. His choices feel authentic, and you know, especially given who he is and what he's inherited. So yeah, excited to, honestly curious to read more about Andon in the next book. I'd love to see what Fondly does with his story and his arc. In terms of the actual story, I thought that the pacing was excellent. I never felt that the story dragged, though the time jumps occasionally caught me off guard. And I think another minor critique that I have is I just wish we dug deeper into the fantasy elements and the magic system itself, right? That said, Jade is handled in a way that makes sense, and it keeps the story focused on the characters and the plot, which is good, because it still gives them, you know, an interesting set of tools to work with. But yeah, I definitely want to learn more about just this magic system and the fantastical elements that, you know, encompass it. I hope that we get to learn more about that in the next book. We'll see. Overall, I'd say that if you love character-driven stories about family, about power, about conflict, you know, with a touch of magic and then plenty of action kind of set in this East Asian-inspired world, this is it. This is it. I'm giving this book a solid 4 out of 5 stars. I'm beyond excited to dive into Jade War next, so stay tuned, and I appreciate you watching this video. Thank you. Peace.